Hey everybody, it is your girl Alicia, and we are back for another fantastic episode of Wild Preacher's Kid. Now, if you didn't know, it's the month of May, and the topic for this month is purpose. We are talking about purpose in different aspects and different genres as well. You guys, you know how I do. I like to keep you on your toes, and I love bringing on people who can enrich your life and tell their story as well. I feel like purpose is one of those things where when you get to a certain age, if you were like me, we get to a certain age where you're like, God, what is my purpose? What should I be doing with my life? Where should I be going? And then crickets. You're not sure what to do. But I want to encourage someone who might be in that space of not understanding that purpose is an evolving situation. Like you could be in one season doing something, that's your purpose at that time. But you move to another arena, that's your purpose for another time. Like it keeps growing and growing and growing. And God can use all of those tools to propel you into the arena where you're supposed to be at. And of course, I love to talk about pace as well. You have to do it at God's pacing. So if you're in that space where you're not sure where you're going, what to do, who to do it with, this is the episode for you. And I have the fantastic Noel on the line. Hey,
Hey.
Noel. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad that you're doing this. Y'all, I'm not going to lie to you, but when recording this, we had already had a full conversation and we were
hmm
dropping gems already.
What we was.
We was. But Noel on Wild Preacher's Kid, I don't like to tell nobody else the story. I want you to tell yours. Introduce yourself to the people, my love.
Okay, well, I'm Noelle. I am a wife. I still consider myself to be a newlywed. We're going into 2 years. I'm a dog mom. We have two dogs. One is a Labrador Retriever. The other is a Golden Retriever. They have very creative names: Serena Shakari Reese Walker and
Okay.
Jebediah Kobe Walker. They're both have middle names of
Jebediah.
athletes. Yes, Jebediah. He got old man name mixed with NBA player name, all rolled
Oh,
in one.
I love that.
I am a licensed clinical social worker as well. I always say I'm a social worker before I'm a therapist. I'm a believer in Christ, and I'm just happy you called me to be here today.
Yes, I wanna jump right in because we were talking about vulnerability, and
Mhm.
just for you right now, you were telling me that God has encouraged you to be more vulnerable. And what was the trigger for that for you? Like, you know what? This is something that I need to work on.
Mm, that's a good question. I'm thinking, what did trigger it? You know, what comes to mind is, oh, I will tell you, friendships. So I was having a lot of different friend breakups. From different avenues. I'm not really sure why. As I'm kind of unpacking it, I got to be honest, some of it was my fault. Some of it, as I look back on it, I was being a bad friend. And in the moment, I stood 10 toes down in my decision. But as I look back on it, I was like, mm-mm. My therapist challenged me. She was like, I don't think you were probably the best friend all the time. She was like, nobody is as good all the time. And I was just like, no, that's not true. Yes, I was. But when I really sat with it, I was like, she right. I was not a good friend all the time. So, because of all those friend breakups, actually, when I started going to prison church, I really didn't want any relationships. I wanted to go. I wanted to seek the face of the Lord. I wanted to serve, but all that friendship stuff, I ain't want to talk to nobody. I didn't even want to go to our midweek services because I was like, oh, they being intimate, they being vulnerable. I don't want to do that. I was like, I want to be vulnerable in them groups they having. Like, I was so against it. I probably would have never went had Pastor Farah, who was my leader at the time, she really pushed us to go. And I was like, ugh, okay. So I I did not want to go. Like I was like, oh, why she keep posting about us going to midweek for us to talk and mm-mm. So I remember the first one I went to, I don't know who placed me in my group because they were already formed. But it was just, I just love those ladies. I remember it was several ladies there, and it was just like I immediately just felt comfortable to share. But that was the trigger.
Mm-hmm. That's so interesting. So, like, I've never, you know what? That's a really good point. People don't really talk about friendships in a way, and we've talked about it on this show before. about evaluating your friendships, kind of doing like a an audit of your friendship, even if it's for yourself or someone else. But in that moment, you're saying you were thinking, "Nah, I'm the bestest friend anybody could ever have." Just to look back on it and be like, "Dog, I really wasn't doing nothing. I really wasn't friending like I thought I was." That is
Uh,
powerful.
it's one relationship I can think of. Oh, I've been dissecting that one so bad. And I can see why we're not friends anymore. I thought to myself, yeah, I thought I was being really good to her, but I was not. I was being a little combative and I was really going against some things. And I was like, I was not. As a matter of fact, it was her wedding. And I remember I wanted to wear different shoes from everybody else, not even understanding the magnitude of my choice. Like it's her wedding. This don't have nothing to do with me. But I'm talking about I want like I didn't even think about that until I got older, just how I was not being a good friend to her in that moment.
Hmm. All the way down to some shoes.
Yeah.
Just that simple. So let me ask you this. So were you one of those people that just kind of like challenge people when they wanted to do stuff and you were like, nah, I don't want to do that. I want to do such and such. And then when they don't agree with you, you're like, what's wrong with you? Was it like that? Or just really not being aware of other people's needs? Because that's something too.
I think not being aware of other people's needs,
Mm.
and I can be passive aggressive. So maybe if she would have said no, don't wear that, I would have been like, like okay, like just so being. But now, as I look back, I'm like, I would never do that. This was like 10 years ago. I want to set the scene. This was like 10 years ago. She was like the first of my friend group to get married.
Oh.
So, I was not who I am now. I don't even think I had started doing therapy yet. Had never gone through it myself. I wasn't really self-reflecting on what I was saying. I was very quick to speak and not really thinking about how what I said would really affect others. Like I would just say whatever was on my mind at the time.
Mhm. Would you consider yourself a selfish person?
In that moment, yes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have considered myself to be selfish in whole, but I think that was a very selfish moment because someone else's event, that doesn't have, you're just an attendant. You are there to support. You're not there to try to switch the narrative to you in any way. If she'd asked me to wear a potato sack, that's what I should have put on,
Yeah.
or just decline the invitation.
Just the wisdom in that alone, just declining it. I think sometimes we want to show up for people, or I'm gonna say it this way. I know I struggle, and I've shared this before. Like me being a friend, I'm like all in. Like
Mm,
when I consider you a friend, I'm all in. I'm one who prepares for the ups and the downs for their other friends' life. Like I keep bail money because I know the kind of
uh,
my friend. Amen, amen, amen. And two other people. If it pops off, I keep bail money for us. Like I'm gonna at least get you out. I can't, I can't keep you from going in, but I can
yeah.
get you out.
Well, the getting out is just as important.
And
So,
you need somebody. I don't want to have to put up my house to get you out, but I can most definitely do a little something to get you out or whatever. But like I shared that I was like I realized that I was overstepping in so many different ways of like trying to be God in their life. And it's not that I wanted to be God, but it's like if you need something, I want you to be able to say, Alicia got you.
yeah.
And it's because if I internalize it, I was someone who was neglected, abandoned, and did not feel supported. So I would put out there, I support you, I support you, I support you, I support you, just to turn around and be like, I don't feel supported still. I don't feel, because nobody's going to give that same energy that I'm putting out there, hoping that these are seeds that will blossom into what I would do. It's like the level of sacrifice I was willing to do. And I was like, this is a problem.
Mm,
Like I had to take inventory of that. Like, oh, this is a problem where I get to a place where I will give you my last and go without just so that you can have it, but you have no idea the sacrifice I made. And then get mad that you wouldn't do the same for me. And I've never put that out there for you to do. I was like, oof, I gotta do better about that. So here to hear you say Oh, I'm the homie. Like I'm the best. You should make exceptions for me. You should do this, and I I don't want to say that's triggering for me, but it's like if I was the girl, I probably would have been like, nah, you not solid, Noel.
Yeah. No, but that's true though. That's true. At that time, I was not.
Crazy. I mean, it's a good thing to even talk about just having inventory with your friendships. Have you ever apologized to her about that?
No, we had a crazy ending to our relationship.
Mm.
Um, we have not spoken in years. I could go down a rabbit hole of that relationship. So a lot of things have gone unspoken between that particular person and myself.
Mhm.
Um, but to tie up why we don't really speak anymore, we went on a big trip together some years ago. And as a matter of fact, this was for her 30th birthday. And in my opinion, this was the worst trip I've ever been on. Me and one of my other friends who I went with. I'm not gonna call no names, but we both was like, this is the worst trip. We never so we went to New Orleans, but the entire trip, all the person who I'm speaking of, all they wanted to do was they just wanted to drink the entire trip, like from start to beginning. They didn't want to, there was no plans outside of alcohol.
Oh, okay.
And yes, and I had never been on a trip that didn't have, especially if we're going out of state. I'm thinking to myself, when we gonna go to he? And there was nothing else outside of that. The goal of the trip from start to finish was to be drunk pretty much every moment of the trip. And I'm just gonna be, that was just not okay with me. I'm not saying I just never drink, but to that magnitude was just not where I was in my life anymore.
Yeah.
Now, and I think she was aware of that. So that was one of those unspoken things. So I like what you're saying about taking inventory because I wish that we would have had like a conversation before the trip started. Like, what are we going to do? What's going on? So there was a growth that took place with both of us that we just didn't know about because she didn't live near me. We would kind of talk on the phone and do check-ins. And I think from perhaps, and I don't want to speculate, but maybe from her perspective, she felt like it's going to be like old times. But
Right.
for me, I felt like she had grown to where I was. And I shouldn't have thought that because I didn't know. So, there was that pull the whole trip. Me and my other friend who I was with, we wanted to sightsee and we wanted to explore what New Orleans was.
Right.
You know, she wanted to really just drink. It was just bar hopping. So there was a divide from that moment. And then after that trip, our friendship really just kind of broke.
So you felt like you guys outgrew each other at that
Hmm.
point. Mm. I I always say in moments like that, because and I might be wrong because you're the therapist, I'm not, so I might be wrong. But I always look at moments where if I've outgrown this person, now I'm also the person that won't let you outgrow me. I'm like, nah, sis, what's wrong with you? Why are we still doing this? Like this is how old we are. Like I get it's your birthday, it's turn up, but the level and how you want to do it was like we was in college. Now in college it was different because we ain't have nothing to do on the weekend. We could be sleep passed out. It's like, but you flew us all the way out here to New Orleans. Now we live in Georgia, y'all. It's a mighty way. I think it's like
Yeah.
13, 14 hours.
Hmm.
Ma'am,
Well, yeah.
if I'm gonna come all the way out here just for you to drink, we could do this at the house, and I could be laying in my bed at the end.
Save some money too, because that was a big part of it. It was an expensive trip. I was
Like
like,
you came all the way out
yeah.
here to get wasted like we was in college. So I know I would, me personally, I would have probably tried to. I think that's wisdom on your part, but for me, I probably would have poured too much energy in trying to be like, why are we still doing this? Because I would want to fix. I would want to. I'd be like, something is not right. You think this is okay?
Mhm.
Like we're doing this at 30. Like don't get me wrong, we celebrating your birthday, but we're not even doing anything. We're almost taking care of you on this trip. You have all of these bodies to make sure you get back to the hotel at this point. What's going on? I just want to have fun. I want to have fun. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna let you have it, but when we get back to Georgia, we need to have a serious talk. But I think you had wisdom of just recognizing that, you know what? I think that I've outgrown this portion of my life. And if this person wants to stay here, then let them stay. And I'm going to go in this direction. That's just what I like. I think there's two different avenues you could take, but I think yours is probably the wisest in my opinion. Sometimes we stay in relationships with people way too long out of loyalty, time, or just thinking about well, I don't want them to feel bad that I don't want to be their friend no more. And maybe that's
Mm.
why you wanted different shoes. You didn't want to be their friend anyway.
Well, I would say the wedding was way before the New Orleans thing. At the New Orleans thing, I was just being a bad friend and didn't know it. It was truly just kind of like I was oblivious to what the culture of weddings is. I had never really, I had, watched it on TV, but up until that, I'd been to like maybe one or two. I didn't really understand my role as a bridesmaid, and I didn't really realize I was being a bratty bridesmaid at the time. Looking back on it, if I could go back, I'd be like, girl, just do what you take to do and sit down. If I
Yeah.
could go back to then. But when we were 30, that was like, I want to say she had maybe been married 5 or 6, maybe even 7 years. Like it had been some time in between. So we were in a whole different space. But I know you said that maybe I chose the route of wisdom. And I'm like, maybe, but maybe I let it go too soon. I actually like what you said. I do wish, I always say if I had the opportunity to sit with her, I would have liked to explain to her why I felt the way I felt and why I pulled away. Because I can imagine from her perspective, she may have felt like I brought my homegirls on this trip. I brought my day ones and they didn't talk to me. They weren't, I don't understand, so I don't want to negate her experience as well, that maybe she felt like I selectively chose, because it was like a group of seven. I curated this group of people, and the two, they just weren't interacting with us. So I actually do wish if I could go back, and it's never too late, just to have that conversation with her.
Okay, so we can glean from each other. I hear you.
Yeah.
I think that brings up another question for me. So, in your journey as a therapist, what led you to choosing that field? Because I want to say this respectfully, as I think the assumption for someone who may go to a therapist, like you guys know all the right things. That's the assumption. And even what I'm hearing right now is that even though you have the training, but even for yourself, you're realizing there's some things that need to be dug up, some things that needs to be revealed to yourself. I mean, the fact that you also have a therapist, that lets me know that y'all are also in a place where you have to be checked and find some balance in your own lives and things like that. So, what made you even go into that career field? Because we really don't know what y'all do outside of helping us from doing the bad stuff that we want to do sometimes.
Oh, so I went into there. So I have to tell a story to get where I'm going, if that's
I'm
okay.
ready.
So when I was 17, going into 18, my dad got very ill. He had cancer, and he actually passed rather quickly. So when I was 18, we had a hospice social worker come to the house. So I'm pretty quiet. I'm a pretty quiet person. I'm one of those people, and this is something that's followed me into adulthood. So I don't know how I became a therapist. Because therapists have to talk all the time, but I can sit in a room and not say anything. So the hospice social worker, she would come by and she would talk to my mom. And my mom would say, hey, such and such is here. And I would come out, I would kind of peek out and I would wave at her. And I would go back. I never spoke to this lady, never, but I'm a listener. That's probably how I did become a therapist. When I tell you don't nothing get past me, I hear everything.
That's
So I would kind of keep my door cracked because I needed to know who was talking to my mama. My daddy in their ear. At this time, my brother had moved out of the house. So I'm just listening. And I remember whenever she would come, oh, I'm getting emotional. Whenever she would come, my mama's whole mood shifted.
mm,
Like she would just be so happy and she would be like, yeah, thank you for coming. I appreciate you. And my mom would say, do you want to talk to her? And I would say, no, but oh, I'm about to tear up. And I would say, no, but thank you so much for coming. And I said to myself, I want to do what she does.
mm,
I don't know exactly what she does, but I know that her presence in my house makes a difference. I
mm.
know that when she comes, my mom is relieved from being a caretaker for a little while, and she gets to just have a normal conversation. And later on, I found out she was a hospice social worker. So that's why I say I'm a social worker before I'm a therapist.
It's okay. Ooh, we cry on this channel. Y'all, if y'all know me, I'll cry in a heartbeat. Oh, I mean, that's so beautiful though. That's such a beautiful story. I hate that
So
your
that's how I got to it.
condolences to your father passing, but that's a very
Thank
beautiful story.
you.
What led you to your purpose?
Mm-hmm.
What else were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I didn't at that time. I just knew she was a woman coming in, and she was very nice. She was cheerful, but the thing about her was she was so respectful. If I did not speak to her, it didn't matter. She would still speak to me, and she made sure she called me by my name. Hey, Noel, how are you? I would say hello. Everything okay? Yes, ma'am. And I'd go to my room, and then she would just talk to my mom. She wasn't focused on the death or the. She just was. What can I do? What
Yeah.
can I do to help? Do you need a support group? Do you just need me to go to the store right quick and get some groceries? Do you need me to sit with Noel and with, your husband while you take a minute? It was what can I do how can I serve the family the more that I think about it? And I was like, I need to do something like that to where I can, shift the atmosphere of a household or within a person to just help them curate hope and show them what it can look like.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah, I didn't know that. Ooh,
Mhm.
beautiful though. I mean, it just shows the impression that she left with you. It was life changing. You were in a life changing moment, and she was able to plant a seed of care. Really, that's what it is. I mean,
Mhm.
that's just alone. That's beautiful. You got me crying. Oh my god.
I didn't expect to cry.
Oh my goodness.
And I've told that story before, but hey, I don't know. Today's different, I guess.
I mean, but I think just really the feeling behind it. You're talking about, and this is you being vulnerable. You're walking this out. I'm proud of you. It's really about what I hear you say is that she made you guys feel safe in that
Mhm.
moment because there was a lot of unknowns. You don't know if what's gonna happen to him, and then for your mom, I can only imagine like having to prepare for her husband's passing. Like I don't even. She's having to. I mean, as a mom, I'm constantly being on task and being, all right, come on, baby, da, 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 let's get this together and like having to not say perform, but be the energy for my household because a lot of times you don't get the moment to grieve the situation and or be in a place where you can actually feel what you're feeling, especially as women of color. We're taught to just push it down and
That's right.
feel it. Just keep going. Girl, I was in a car accident. My back was towed up. That
Well,
I sure was. I was in a car accident on 75. My back was tore up. The God bless the family that stopped their car. They let me because it was scorching hot. It was like 92 that
my
day.
goodness.
It was bad. And I almost got. I praise the Lord for it because I almost got hit by an 18-wheeler as well.
Mm.
Because it was like that part of 75 that goes towards Macon, and like you're going up right after Hartley Bridge, and then you
Mm-hmm.
kind of settle down. I was
Yep.
right after it settled down, and so nobody saw my car spin out, hit the guardrail, and go right back out into traffic. When I say I
Ooh.
called on Jesus, honey, honey, but I after that car accident, my car is total. First thing I want to do, I'm trying to call the rental car so I can go to work still.
What?
Crazy. No hospital, no go home, no nothing. I'm trying to get a rental so I can
I go to work.
I was working at Geico at the time. And I was trying to get out there. I was like, I gotta go to work because not thinking like, oh, I just got in a car accident. Well, I guess I just gotta go. I like my husband was like, "You're coming home." He's like, "You're coming home." He was like, "Do I have to
Right.
come out there and come get you?" I was like, "No." I said, "The people they the police they've brought me back to the house because it's like my car's total. I need a ride home. They can't leave me on the interstate, you know." So,
Mhm.
girl, and I think that was my first wake up call to how I just keep going in the midst of pain, heartache, trauma, all the things. And for your mom to receive someone who was like, I'm not here to do anything but what you might need to do, which is if you need to talk to somebody.
Mhm.
Because even when you have family members in moments like that, they are like one of two things. Either they are heartbroken and sad about it, and you're not
Mm,
the, I can't comfort you. I need somebody to comfort me.
that's right.
Or they're also including on like, well, you know what? Just make sure the kids are good and do it. They give you more things to do, and you're like, okay, I gotta pull it together. Them babies need me, da, da, da. And it's like giving yourself permission to grieve or to even lose it. Like it doesn't. It can just be a real
Yes.
heartfelt kind of moment.
Right. Just let it out.
Oh my goodness! And so that led you to go. I want to do what this woman does. Have you do? Oh, I mean, I know it probably was a long time ago. Have you ever reached out to her?
I've been asked that before, and I have not. But I don't know who she is. I don't know where she works. But the thing is, I could probably maybe try to track this person through my mom because my mom probably remembers her name, but
Yeah.
I don't know. But now I feel led to talk to my mom, be like, "Do you remember that woman?" I'm sure she does,
Yeah.
but I want to reach out because she deserves to know.
I mean, I think that she would be so blessed to hear that the work that she did. Most of the times, they'd be like, "I appreciate you for standing in the gap with me and interceding with me," because that's really what it is. I consider that like
Mhm.
intercession on a physical level, that type of work. And girl, and for you to take that moment in your own grieving moment as well, because you're a kid not understanding what's going on, but you know
Mhm.
what's happening, to go, I want to do what she does. I bet that would be the biggest compliment she could ever get in her life, that after all this time, little Noel has turned into a full-blown social worker and therapist. Like that's, I mean, that's so amazing as a whole thing. I love
You
it.
talked me into it. I'm gonna try to track her down and see if I can find her.
Come on, y'all. Let's hold Noel accountable. Let's check on this podcast episode. And be like, hey, did you
Hold
find
me
her?
accountable.
Did you find her yet? Did you find her? And if you do, I'm gonna challenge you. If you do, ask her if the two of y'all could do like a mini video and be like, hey, I found her, you guys. Thank y'all for encouraging me. I'm gonna challenge you to that, okay?
Okay.
I think it's necessary sometimes. Being prophetic, myself, sometimes we give out drop gems, and we drop and we words of encouragement, and we words that the Lord will want to use us to speak to the people, and sometimes we don't ever hear anything about it. So it gives us, it lets us feel like, okay, there's confirmation. I was in the will of God. God did give me those words to say to you. And then to hear that it blessed you, it's like, oh, good. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. You're using me right. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's
Hmm.
good for her. And I think it'd be healing for you too, to know that, like, man, this woman, shoot, she could still be doing it.
Yeah.
Don't
I
even,
was thinking,
she could still be doing it.
well, challenge accepted. I'm gonna try my best. And I promise to
Yeah.
provide an update either way.
I don't care how long it takes.
Okay.
I don't care how long it takes. It can. Hopefully, it don't be a decade. But let's let's see if we can do it. Maybe by the end of this year, just so they
Okay.
put out the effort by the end of this year, and then we'll do like a recap. I would love to do that with you. Okay.
Sounds good. I'm with you.
All right. I love it. So I want to go into my next question for you. So you're doing therapy as a therapist
Hmm.
for yourself. Why? And this is just to go behind the veil. A lot of us don't know what you guys go through. We don't know the fact that you even have a therapist. That lets me know that y'all are doing the work too, so that you can help us do the work. But like, what is it like really being a therapist? Because if you guys don't know, if you check her out on TikTok, she has a series out right now, where she just talks about going into business for herself, and being a therapist. And she works from home, but she does a lot of telehealth and things like that. And she just talks about the struggles of it. And it's like, I told her before, I was like, man, that's looking behind the veil, because we assume that y'all know everything, y'all got it all together, and we the ones with the problems, and we need you to fix it, because um, I don't know what I'm doing. I got thrown out here into the water and I can't swim. I ain't got no floaties and I'm drifting on this driftwood. Like how it feels. But like what goes on for you guys behind the veil, without sharing any personal details about anybody in particular, but just for yourself though.
Well, first of all, I want to say therapists do not know everything. We a lot of times are just trying to figure things out. And in my sessions, it's not uncommon that I might say, you know what, I need to do some the professional ways. I need to research that topic a little further. Or, but inside, I be thinking, I don't know. Let me see what I can find out about it. We definitely do not know everything. We seek what's called clinical supervision or peer support, which is where we talk to someone who is like a colleague to get some recommendations. I do have an office as well, so across, and I'm really blessed and privileged to be in the office with two ladies who have been in the field for probably 15 to 20 years. So when I really don't know, if I catch them kind of in between, I might say, I really need to talk to you. Do you have a moment? Can I do a quick consultation with you? So I am a big seeker of wise counsel in the field to get some insight if I don't know what's going on, if a client is presenting with a certain diagnosis that I'm unaware of, just anything that I need some help on. One thing about me, I'm going to ask for help. And if a client is coming to me and it's beyond my scope of practice, I'm going to refer you out. I will never hold you hostage if I cannot support you, if I cannot help you. I'm going to find a clinician in the area who can, and I'm going to hit that referral button and we're going to go straight to someone else who.
Say I'm gonna hit that referral button.
Yes.
Like, I might not be. I think that's good too, because and when people first started doing therapy, they'll say, "Oh man, therapy didn't work for me," and I always encourage people to find the right therapist.
Mm-hmm.
Now, y'all listening now. If you've been thinking about therapy, or if you've gone to a therapist before and you're like, "It didn't work for me," she just said you might need to be referred out to somebody else. And
Yes.
there's nothing wrong with that. It's like a shoe. It has to fit. You have to find someone whose expertise lines up, is what I hear you say. And then also just is knowledgeable about the thing that you're dealing with and are willing to talk about that. Cause it's scary out here. I ain't gonna lie, it's scary out here. It took me a while to find the therapist that I have, cause the one before her, she, I could tell that her, and I've shared this before, that me and my husband, I was contemplating divorce up until last year,
Mm.
and the therapist that I had prior was like, "Oh, he's doing this, 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 and this. So it sounds like to me that you should leave." But I felt like the Lord wasn't telling me to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And it ended up being, what she doesn't mind me sharing, he did have a mental health challenge. And it was like, oh, okay, that's why you're doing these things. So then it allowed me to look at him in a different light, instead of it being like, oh, you're doing these things to really hurt me. It's more like, he needed medication. That's really what he needed. So in his journey of doing therapy and getting the medication that he needs, I'm doing therapy to even better myself as well. And but if I would have stayed with that lady, I probably would have divorced my husband, because
Wow.
every session was about, so when are you going to do this, and have you started looking at apartments? Like, it felt really led, and not, and the focus I wanted to talk about was me and my childhood, so I could be a better mom, because that's been my biggest
Right.
thing. I was like, I want to be the best mom out, like, for my kids. And come to find out, thank God for my therapist, I have ADHD. That is why I'm getting overstimulated. That is why I'm
Mm.
losing myself every bit of the day. Like, I can't take it. They're touching me all the time. I was like, Lord, I know I prayed for one, but you gave me two. What is up?
Yeah.
Like, I only wanted one. And I want to make sure I say this. If my baby ever hears this, I'm thankful that the Lord gave me two. But my mind was not wrapped around having two. And
Mm.
since having been on my medication, oh, it's so much easier now. Everything doesn't bother me. And I'm like, oh, okay. So you guys, she said it herself. If you've tried therapy and it's not the right fit, go ahead and get that referral. Go find somebody.
Please find somebody else. I say a lot. I don't say this at the end of every session, well, at the end of every first session, but I say this quite often at the end of a first session, and that is first therapy sessions are like first dates.
Yeah.
You are trying to determine if you are a good fit for each other. and I let my potential clients know this can go a few different ways. You can go home and think about it, which I always encourage them to do. I never say, okay, I'm going to open up my appointment book and I'm going to rebook you now. No, go home and think about it. If you feel sure, that's okay too. Sometimes at the end of a first date, you like, oh yeah, I want to see you again. Yeah, I felt something. I felt good. You know how it was when you go
I
out
love
with somebody
that.
the first time. And sometimes you like, I know, and that's okay too. If you feel like I am not a good fit for you, or if I feel like we're not a good fit, then it needs to go ahead and be said so that way we can get you in the hands of the right fit, or at least help guide you in that place.
So for when you said about if you don't think you're a right fit, what is the qualifications for that? Because I always go off of a movie, and I think it's enough said or something like that. But the therapist, he had a client that would just pop up anytime, like out at his office, at his home office, and be like, "Hey, I want to do such and such, and I called you 20 times, and you didn't pick up." And it's like, some people, like, I was like, man, I wouldn't want to be at that actually scared me for even trying to do that in school, because I was like, I am not built for that life. When I turn off this phone, the phone is off. If it's an emergency, you need to go to the right people, and that's the hospital. You can't come to me. I can't save you like that. We can have a power session, but other than that, I can't help you. So what would make you refer, or what is, let me say not you, but what would be like a sign to say, you know what, I need to refer you to somebody else?
Well, the I would say the most, like, because we have our ethics we have to respect. So the most ethical response to that is if they are not within our scope of practice. That is the main reason that we would refer out. So, my a lot of my specialties are around anxiety, depression. I work a lot with women and women issues and postpartum and things like that. I'm not really great at working with those who have like personality disorders. So I had a client, saw this particular client for a while. We had a really great therapeutic relationship, but the more this particular client saw me, I was like, I think there's an additional diagnosis of a certain personality disorder. That is not my specialty. It's kind of like there's different doctors. There's a
Yeah.
pediatrician, there's a foot doctor, there's an eye doctor. I am not a personality specific therapist, meaning I don't focus in on personality disorders. So that is not something that I spend a lot of time studying, that I spend a lot of time really critiquing. So the more it began to come out, I was like, I don't think I can. I don't think this is for me. I don't think that I can help you in the way you need to be helped. I mean, I can do research, but it's different when someone has like really studied that and this is their area of expertise. But sometimes it's just small things like scheduling. Like if I don't see clients at all on Sundays. That's a firm and hard rule for me. That's a one day a week. I'm usually serving and presents kids on Sundays anyway. So I don't have the time. But if they were like, I really want to do Sundays, I'm not even a little bit flexible on that.
Yeah.
My schedule is my schedule. Another reason might be insurance issues, or, we just can't get it verified. Um, but to go what you were saying about the person just popping up, I've never had that happen to where somebody just pop up on
And
me.
movies have
Oh,
ruined y'all so bad because they make it seem like y'all are on demand, and I was like, oh, what movie?
okay. So I will say this, we try to equip the client with what to do. So meaning there are things that, and I talk about this in the session, there are things that you should do before just immediately calling me 10 million times, especially if you are in crisis, like you are having homicidal or suicidal ideation. You can immediately, of course, go to your hospital. You can dial 988. You can call 911. Here in Georgia, we have something called the Georgia Crisis and Access Line. That is very much an option. They can come out immediately. You can definitely, if I am available and it's within my office hours, I can assist you. However, if I'm on vacation or if I'm out of the country or something like that, is the idea that you should use what is on your safety plan. So, meaning 988, 911, the Georgia Crisis and Access Line. Use the resources that we have discussed so that you can be safe. I do also work in a group practice, so my supervisor does know when I'm on vacation, so she can assist as well, but definitely being self-sufficient in those areas.
See, I didn't know all of that. Like,
Hmm.
I'm a big advocate for I will say this. I'm a big advocate for recovery, and it's because I worked for a nonprofit, and then I had family members that were in recovery as well. So it's a part of like my own personal care when it comes to people in that community. But to even some of the topics that you specialize in, because I didn't know about postpartum until I became a mom. So it was like,
Mm,
oh, okay, let's add that to the list. I didn't know about depression and anxiety until I experienced both. I was like, oh, let me go ahead and care about both. So I've been learning to get these resources and share them out to people, and I know that it's necessary because the role that you guys could play in is, uh, I think sometimes as a client, I can't speak for all of us, but clients like myself, at first, it's like, I need somebody to tell me what to do because I
mm,
don't know what to do. This doesn't feel right. This doesn't look right. This person over here doing this, and I need someone other than myself to tell me what to do. And I think when I first started therapy, it was like, we can't tell you what to do.
mm.
So why is
Nope.
that? Why is it that when I come and I answer, you can't just tell me
Nope.
what to do? I need somebody to tell me what to do, Noel, because
That's
I'm
taking away your voice.
struggling.
No, that's that's taking away your voice. You come to therapy also to be empowered, to be uplifted, and especially, and I'll give an example. Let's say somebody comes to therapy and they're very already codependent. You know,
Mm-hmm.
there's somebody who they struggle. I meet so many people who they struggle with trusting themselves, or
Yeah.
they struggle with making decisions, or they'll be like, I'm not sure if my decision is the right one. So then they come to see me and I say, well, you should do this. You should enroll in school. Now their codependence is just transferred to me. Now I got a lifelong client. I have somebody who I can't get rid of because I have taken that role in their life of what they were seeking. My role is to empower you to make the best choice, to help you, to help guide you into trusting yourself. I can't tell you what to do. Then you'll never trust yourself.
You didn't have to hurt me like that.
Oh.
Ouch. That's true though. You're right. That makes perfect sense. We still don't like it though, but we.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I catch strays with my therapist all the time. I be like, girl, please, can we just end the video?
I
Because why
know.
why are you hurting me like this?
You have to come for me like that.
Yes.
Please.
Like we're 30 minutes in. Let's just go ahead and call it a session.
But that makes sense though, because I know I shared with you that like I would want to be the answer for my friends because I love my friends. Like I give them my all, my last. And it's just because I wanted to be dependable and reliable and support and let them feel supported. But then I'm becoming their source. I'm becoming, and what you're telling me is that even in the role that you play, it's like, I'm not trying to do that. Not trying
Mm-mm.
to play God in their life and tell them what to do, how to do it, how long they should do it for. Because you're right, because the questions don't stop. Uh, every decision, somebody can say, "Hey, do you think I should go on this date?
Yeah.
Like, are you trying to date people at this time in your life?" Well, yeah, but I don't know if I should go on this one. Maybe the next one I could talk about it, but this one I don't know. It's like, no, we have to use our judgment. And I think empowering us, if you're like me, I was super confident, but then after having a narcissistic boss,
Mm.
it made me second guess everything because I was like, God, I asked for this job. I prayed for this job. I asked for it. I was calling them. I did. I went up there and I was like, I'm just checking on my resume because I wanted to start my family, but I couldn't do it at the pay of where I was at. I was working retail, so it was like I really wanted to go move up in a different bracket, and I was like, this is the step to that door, and I'm thinking this is a good idea. It was probably, I mean, the Lord turns the bad into our good, but Lord Jesus, it was traumatic, a traumatic experience for me. Like for the first year and a half, I didn't trust nothing that I was doing at all.
Really?
I was because I worked for her for 2.5 years. It and it was right at by the I think after the first year, I just was like, I'm normally good at it's those moments where you're doing what someone told you to do, and then they gaslight you, and then they gaslight you,
Mm.
and then they gaslight. I want to say she wrote the book on it, in my opinion, because she executed it well. Like the
Yeah.
whole, all of us, our the whole team, be like, but she said that though, right? We all heard, like we was. So then
Woo.
it was like, I'm not doing anything until you tell me to do it, and I need it in writing. And I think once I got to that place, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it now, because it was so bad. Um, or just having you redo something multiple times because
Yeah.
you're supposed to do it this way. I do it this way, but you don't like the way I do it because it doesn't look the way you see it in your head. But I can't see your head. But I told you to do it this first way. But I just needed to fit it all. Like you're using terms and using terminology that you don't understand to get something that you don't see. Like it was crazy.
Mm.
By the end of it, that's when I was pregnant with Zaire, and I was like, I don't know what to do. Like when I gave birth to him, I got fired from that job. She fired me unlawfully. I like to let
Mm.
go. Yep. And after I gave birth to him, I was like, I feel so. There's something that I'm still processing right now. Like those first 6 months of his life, I probably wasn't the best person. Like I was a robot.
Yeah.
Just was like, just tell me how to take care of my kid because I don't know what to do, and I don't trust. Like, should I feed him this warm bottle? Should I? Like, it was that bad.
Mm.
It was that bad. But I will say this: I've learned through therapy that I was being a perfectionist and a people pleaser. I was the best candidate for someone like that to really just ruin my life and my thought process. So when I came to my therapist, I was like, just tell me what to do. And she was like, well, and I mean, it was so bad. I wouldn't eat because I was scared.
Wow.
It was that bad. It was that bad. That person, like, she wouldn't let me go to my sister's wedding. Like, I had to, girl, it was a lot of stuff. I had
Mm. So that.
experienced that a day in my life. And I think when going to therapy, it showed me how much I was willing to forfeit my own voice
Mm-hmm.
to make someone else happy because it was like she was never happy. And I'm like, okay, well, then I won't do this, I won't do that. I literally stopped eating. And this is during COVID. I literally stopped eating because it was like, I don't even trust if I should eat this banana. That's how crazy it was. I was like, I lost so much of myself trying to work for this person because I could, I would have my lunch scheduled and it's the same lunch I always have. And she would be like, where are you going? And I'm like, I'm going to lunch. And she was like, your lunch was at this time. No, you're supposed to be back at your desk. And I'm like, no, my lunch has always been this. No, you can't go nowhere. And I didn't understand the rights that I had. And at the time, I was the breadwinner of our household. So in my mind, I didn't have another option because I was looking for another job, and then
Mm.
nobody was hiring during COVID. So what choice do I have? So I learned a lot about myself through that experience and therapy. Now I'm on the other side of it. Girl, I'm a brand new creature.
Come on, brand new creature.
I'm a brand new creature.
Yeah.
Boundaries are in place.
I know that's right.
I think saying no is the best thing on the planet. Even walking away from people is the best thing on the planet. Like where I'm at now, oh my goodness. I believe the work that y'all do is almost like you're not even say I'll lead you in this direction. I'll hold your hand. And then when you take a step, I'll I'll take a step with you. But
Yeah.
you guys allow us to become whole. That's the best way I can say it. I'm more myself now than I've ever been in my entire life. I went from being a pastor's kid where you have to do whatever the church says because you don't want to make your parents look bad to me wilding out in college and thinking I was the bee's knees to everybody to finding the Lord again and trying to walk the right path and going back to those old behaviors, to having kids and being broken, to having altercations with my um, disagreements with my husband, and then coming back to like, you know what, I want to be Alicia again, and I finally figured out who she is. So I mean, and I'm 40. I'm 40. Took me a while to get here, but I like her. So I want to say on behalf of all of us who are lost and we are trying to find ourselves and find a happy medium. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for y'all sacrifice. Thank y'all for listening to us. Thank you for putting up with us, because some of us are bad kids too, you know, like some of y'all be like, hey, okay, all right, I know when Alicia comes, she gonna come with us. I tell mine all the time, thank you for listening to me, because I give her an ear full. She'd be like, she'd be like, you feel better? I'd be like, yeah, I had to get that off my chest, I'm
Get it
sorry.
out.
But I said, but I didn't get mad this time. She's like, good job, because she know I'm fire over here. You feel?
Mm.
Yes. Now I want to, now enough about me, because I love this topic. I just love this type of ministry. People don't consider this ministry, but I do. Okay. Anytime you're bringing somebody, encouraging somebody to wholeness, I consider that ministry. The church is a place where right now we are seeing a move of God where pastors are encouraging people to go to therapy. They're encouraging to check on their mental health. They're encouraging their congregation and themselves, like pastors even for themselves are starting to do therapy. Like, what would be something that you would share with even a leader, a team member, or staff at or a pastor or minister about therapy? What would you encourage them, like how important it is to have it a part of your congregation, a part of your even your own personal life?
Mm. Now, do you mean encouraging them to encourage others or just them themselves?
Themselves, because if I can, if I would say this, I know that there's some pastors that, because of like scandal and because of those types of things, they are really really scared to talk about some of the things that they deal with, and they go untreated or unseen because they, you know, I, church culture is, I'm gonna say, I can only speak for the culture that I know.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that in Black Christian culture, going to doctors, hospitals, anything like that is taboo for us. But we, in the church setting, a lot of them have made themselves the counselor. Like, if you need marriage, yep, I'll go. They have made themselves the counselor of their church. And it's not that you can't share wisdom, and it's not that you can't share the knowledge that you have about it, but a lot of them are untrained. They personally don't know what they should say or do, and they put this importance of, you can talk to pastor about it, and
Mm.
pastor don't have the tools and the skills to really help you, and sometimes unintentionally they are biased. They have an agenda. Like, if example, if someone's like, hey, I wanted to talk to you, I'm praying to God about this big move, and I want to move such and such to go help my family and stuff like that, and I just don't really know what to do. I have known a pastor go, no, I don't think the Lord's telling you to do that. Because that person is either really influential at their church, or
Oh.
they are, you know what I'm saying? And it's
Oh.
like, you need an unbiased person. Like, you
I
have
agree.
nothing to gain.
Mm-mm. So sometimes I like to get my point across by a story. So is it okay if I tell a story? I hope I don't get to crying again. Child, I did not expect to come here and even cry the
Ah,
first.
Noel. Yes.
Okay, so last top of last year, actually right by my birthday, I had a miscarriage. It was extremely, extremely hard on my husband and I. And, when you are grieving, I like to call them, and I say this as a therapist to my clients, I refer to them as you have grief landmines, meaning you do not know, especially when it's your first year of grief, you don't know what's going to explode. You don't know what's going to trigger an explosion. You're just going through and you're hoping for the best.
Yeah.
So, what I discovered for me was a grief landmine for me is Mother's Day. So I
Mm,
get to church and everyone, when you're a certain age, whether you have kids or not, they say Happy Mother's Day, happy. And usually it's okay, but
yeah.
not this Sunday. Ooh, every time somebody said it was like I got shot, bye, bye, bye. I was like, if somebody else says this to me, I was on the brink of an explosion.
Mm,
I was like, but people meant it from a good place,
right.
but I couldn't hear it again.
Yeah.
So I get called to the altar. Our wonderful pastors, Pastor Tina and Pastor Justin, they're praying over me, all the things. But I still had to deal with my day to day.
Yeah.
And that's why I had to go to therapy.
Mm,
Because in that moment, yes, they prayed over me, they covered me. Pastor Tina prayed over my wound. I wept at the altar, but I still had to go to a therapist and process my grief. So I say, while the church is a hospital, and I truly believe it is, you still need some aftercare sometimes that is on a consistent basis.
that's good. That alone, you still need some aftercare. You're right, because after I had my surgery, they told me, okay, come back in 2 weeks. We want to check
Yeah.
on everything, and ooh, I I want to tell you this condolences for that as well.
Thank you.
Yep, I have my rainbow baby, and it's been since 2018. And when I lost the first one, and it was devastating. It took us 2 years to get to a place to want to try again.
Mm,
And that, I mean, so whatever process you're going through and that you're dealing with, I want you to know that I'm here for you. And
thank you.
yep, and however long it takes, that just let it take that. And when you're ready, um, you'll be ready, and that's it. And I was told I would not be able to have kids,
Mhm.
and I we tried for 10 years, and then to lose that first try, oh, it was hard. I was like, I don't want to do it again. I'm good. So I have proof that I got two right now. So if
I
you,
love to see it.
yeah, girl, they drive me crazy, but like I will
I
say,
love to hear about the proof story. So I thank you for sharing that because it always, whenever I love that when people share them, it gives me so much hope.
yeah. I mean, and I think when I lost, now I don't say I lost the desire, but I think I got to a place where I was like, God, if this is not for me, then take the desire away.
Mm,
That's what I started to pray, because it was like, if it's not for me, then take it away. So then, or show me how to do it in a different capacity. And I, Pastor Tina, I know the day, I know the day that when she prayed over my wound, it was September 8th, 2020, because it was still COVID, and we had like a worship night at the church. It was the first one
uh-huh.
they kind of opened it up so people to just come, and we were singing and worshiping, and she prayed over my wound publicly. And then that same night I said, come on, husband, she done prayed. She done prayed over my wound. Let's go ahead. And I
Get
promise you,
ready.
September 9th was that night. And then
There it is.
it was that night. So I mean, I said it'll happen, and it'll happen in God's timing. And when it does, guess what? You will have a tribe of women who are ready to help you and do this thing with you. And I think I'm so thankful for my church family. I don't see my actual family that often. I'm not from here, so when I'm around y'all, I feel so safe. I feel secure and loved and appreciated for just being myself. Where in my family, I'm either being compared to somebody else or some other stuff that
Mhm.
I don't agree with when it comes to um, how to do church and stuff like that. But I am so grateful to have you guys as a part of my church family and a part of my life. So I know if he can do it for me, he can do it for you. And
Oh, thank you.
I
And I'm
know,
grateful for you.
oh, I just, I can't wait because this baby's gonna be cute. Because you're
Ain't it?
cute. Yeah, you so thinking cute, girl.
Thank you. My
Yes,
husband do bad itself. I said
I
when the
know.
genes mix together,
Hmm.
yeah.
Something good got to come, girl.
Mhm.
Look. Well, let me ask you this. When you experience, because I think one of the episodes we talked about grief, and you said grief was some landmines for you, and you know it's fine going to Mother's Day. It did hit you, and now Mother's Day is coming up next month.
Mhm.
How are you feeling now?
If I'm being honest, and this is just, I haven't even said this out loud. This has only been in my head. So you're getting the first time removed from up here to out my mouth. So I don't know how this is gonna come out. But I have already been like thinking about I'm gonna prepare my leader, who is now Heather, who's a great PK leader, just about I want to serve on Mother's Day, but to please give me a little grace.
Yeah,
I don't know how it's gonna be.
yeah,
That whole day last year, I cried from the time I woke up to the time I went home. When I got home.
yeah.
So I don't know how I will be.
Okay.
I know I want to come to church. I
Hmm.
know I want to serve. I don't really want to be in the sanctuary because I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
Just give me some grace.
Okay. If you need a hug or if you need anything from me, you just walk up to me and I know what it is and I got you. Okay?
Thank you.
Yep. And if you need someone to cry with you, I'll cry with you. I don't care. I cry every Sunday anyway. Just catch some of these tears with me. Okay? You ain't gotta
I
hold it by yourself.
I appreciate that. Knowing Heather, she probably gonna say, no, you probably need to be in the sanctuary.
Yeah.
She might push me out there anyway. She might say, you know what, but I don't know how I want the day to go.
Yeah.
I know my husband celebrates me on it anyway, because, like we said, we have a baby who's gone on,
Yeah.
and I wear a little baby's breath necklace in memory of that baby. So I'll probably have my necklace on, and, we'll have like a little celebration at home just between us, because a lot of people don't know.
Hmm.
But I know I want to serve that day.
Yeah. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you. I know it's tough and being in an atmosphere like that. And there's somebody listening who's probably hasn't had the time to really grieve or process um, that type of loss, you know, and having the desire to be a mommy and wanting to have their baby and hold their baby. And it's tough. I will say that this is encouragement to somebody else to still show up. You know, life doesn't stop, and it's okay to ask for what you need. It's okay to be like, you know what, I'm not ready. Like just taking that type of
Goodness.
inventory of yourself and be like, I'm not ready. And I just want you to know whether it's you or anybody else and somebody who's listening, let people know, like you said, you're gonna let your leader know what where you're at so that we know how to support you in that moment and on that day. And you might be surprised. You might go in there and be like, you know what, I can do this and be completely fine. And you could be a mess and you might need to lay in somebody's lap. Hey, guess what? I got you. Like, we're here for you. That's the best thing about um I'm an advocate for church because you never know who has gone through the same walk as you, and you
Mm-hmm.
community in situations where you felt like you're the only one dealing with it. And but I'm proud of you because I remember that day. I did not know that was the reason why. I thought because another person, their mother had just recently passed. So I thought it was
Oh.
along the same lines as that.
Mm-mm.
And to know that, I was like, okay. I was like, um, but my heart beats for you because it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And I'll tell you this as well, like not to dress it up any kind of way. I've learned that normally that's what happens the very first time you do get pregnant. I wish
Really?
somebody would, yes, like the likelihood of it not coming to fruition. They said a lot of people deal with it.
Hmm.
I wish they would. I
I've
maybe
never been told that.
uh, and I didn't know that. Thank God for Doctor when he's at the Women's Health Center in Warner Robins, Georgia. I support them in all that they do. They have delivered both of my babies. They are fantastic. But he was like, "This is actually very, very common. And
Hmm.
it's just because your body has not. It's a certain. I don't want to make it real scientific, but it's like your body. Our bodies haven't been awoken to do that yet.
Hmm.
So you may be depleting in some vitamins. You may be think of it like having your very first period. The first time you have your period is not that crazy. You know, it's real
Right, right. Yeah.
gentle, real light. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm turning into a woman. Like it's that. But as time goes on, it turns into a whole nother monster. It's the same thing.
Hmm.
And I was like, and I think the other thing that he said, he was like, there was nothing that I could have done. It was not my fault. It's not anything that you could have done to make the situation change. And if nobody has ever said that to you, same. You were the best mom
Hmm.
that you could be for that baby. Period. There was
I
nothing
received
that you
that.
could, yeah, there was nothing that you did wrong. And it's like in telling me that was necessary because I was like, you think about what you ate, what you should have done. Did I work
Yep.
out too much? Was I moving too much? Because this is your first time being pregnant. You have no idea.
Right.
And the idea is that, okay, you get you get pregnant and then baby. Like there's nothing, no information in the in between. But I also think that we're a generation where we're having our kids a lot older. And
Yes, we are.
And so this is a area of research that people don't have a lot of information on because we're really the first generation of women who are like, I'm gonna have them after I'm 25, almost
Hmm.
30. Like I had my son when I was 36. And
Mm. Okay.
yep, uh-huh. I had my baby when I was 36. And I like telling my husband who's 5 years younger than me, I was terrified because I was like, I don't know. I might get turned 35 and I shrivel up and turn into a
That,
prune or whatever.
that's what the doctors want you to believe. So
Hey,
that's
honey, so much pressure on us to have
yeah,
kids
a
at a
lot of pressure.
younger age. A lot of pressure. And it's like, oh, wait, I could. Like, I had a friend, she's pregnant now. She's 43.
Wow.
And I mean, so it just lets me know that God moves the way that He wants to move,
Oh
and
yeah.
the stories and the research and even the science behind it, all of it is not 100% concrete. So be encouraged. Your season will come, and when it does, you're gonna be just like me, going, "Whew, Lord, I didn't know these kids gonna be like this girl." But I will share with you
Mm.
this tidbit. The very first year after giving birth, you are still extremely fertile.
Mm.
That's how Alea got here.
Oh.
Just a little tidbit for you. So just I'm just anybody who's listening,
Um, well, I'm glad you told me.
they said all those hormones are still trying to come out of your body. Just want
Yeah.
everybody to know. It's easy. That when they go, oh, you had them back to back. I promise you, mommy was done. I told him I wanted my tubes tied after the first one. Like that's
What?
I was so serious about it too, because my experience was interesting. It wasn't bad. It was like the
Mm.
pregnancy, great, but that hospital care, I was I needed a different experience. That's how I'm gonna say it. I think the movie that I saw in my head was like, oh, this angel has given birth, and
Yeah.
it ain't like that. They be like, put the baby to your in jug, go ahead, hold the baby. Like they put you in mom mode, and you be like, wait a minute, I
You
just
don't even can't even process. It was in there, now it's out here.
they assume it's a switch. It is not. For me, it was like I don't even think the light bulb was inserted
Can't
yet. Like,
imagine.
no, ma'am. 6 months. We making it, baby. Me and Zaire were making it. God bless him. He's so patient. He's so loving.
Oh.
But I just want to encourage you with that. And anybody who's listening, be encouraged. Like, and even your story of being a mom, I like to tell people all the time before you physically give birth and you have that nurturing spirit, it's still being a godmom, being an amazing auntie, being loving to other kids, and and adoption or in vitro or whatever journey you choose to be, even being a dog mom, because I ride hard for my dogs. Okay, I'm a dog mom through and through. God bless Lily, Luna, love my babies. Like
Oh,
they
those dogs, they like children, ain't they? That's how they feel to
are.
me.
They got personalities and everything.
Yes,
Girl, yes. I just absolutely love just whatever it is your heart's desire, God will honor you for it. That's it. He'll honor you for it. I don't know what's in store for you. But you're still a woman. Your womanhood is not just your body parts, it's really your nurturing side, and that we feel it. Yep, we feel it. Yeah. So you're more than enough. You are a woman. You're wonderful. You're caring, and it's gonna happen for you. It's gonna happen for you. But be easy. Be gracious to yourself. Give
yes,
yourself the room to breathe and to prepare your body again. That's it. So love on yourself. I'm team get a massage. I'm team get your nails and your feet done.
yes,
Yeah. Those things I think about, I related to Esther. Before Esther became a queen, she went through a process
it
of,
is.
of purging some of this old stuff out of her body, out of her system, and then being replenished after it. So if this is your replenishing season, let it happen, sis.
I never thought about it like that, but I like what you said, my replenishing season. I'm gonna reframe it that way because I feel like I have still been in grief because
Mm-hmm.
grief goes up and down. It's ebbs and flows. But now I really, as of today, I feel set free from that to an extent because grief has its ups and its downs. It's something that can stick with you long term, but I feel that I can view it differently just from you saying that. So I appreciate you for saying that. And I
Amen.
love
Oh, I love you too. I'm for real though. It's a process. The process is
it
always,
is.
it's always ugly. Now I wanna pivot for a second.
Mhm.
Now there's something about being a therapist or even a social worker. You guys are like, I don't know. I consider mine my best friend. She don't know it though, but because I don't want to tell her that. And I know she's listening. She'll be like that girl.
Mhm.
Yeah, like. But I consider y'all like the silent best friends because a lot of times it's us talking and you guys listening.
Mhm.
And it's a one-sided relationship in most cases. How do you find, I guess, friendships and relationships and not turn into a therapist with them? Because it seems like it would be hard.
You know, it depends. Because a lot of times with my friendships, something that I say a lot is I'll just say, do you want support or do you want solutions? And so that
Mm,
way I
that's
can
good.
easily decide what side you want me to come from. I have some of my friends who say, I want you to, no, I want you to give a therapy. What? They'll be like, no, you the therapist. No, therapize this. But tell me what, and I'd be like, girl, and sometimes I just simply won't. Like if I've had a full day of clients, like if I've seen like 7 or 8, which is a lot for us to see that many, I'm like, you gonna have to ask me another day. The therapy mind turned off. I need your insurance card and your ID before I can go any further. They know I'm just playing when I say that, but but I'm like, I don't have it in me right now. And they respect it. I don't have any friends who will just be like, no, I need your answer now. But I've learned to turn it off. Like I can turn my therapy brain clean off and I can turn it on. I have certain ways to kind of put me back in that space to get me back to critically thinking, but like regular me who's not a therapist, just me beyond that title, I am not somebody who deeply thinks about things. I'm very relaxed. Like I don't even like to watch critically thinking movies. Like
Mm-hmm.
my brother, he's really into like movies that have a purpose and that, and like he'll be like, "You want to watch?" And I'd be like, "Mm-mm. No, I just like to watch like Real Housewives and
Okay, so we can watch
yeah,
those
like
together. Yes.
yes, like I don't want to have to diagnose everybody all the time. So it's easy for me. Just regular me is not, I'm not thinking about what type of anxiety is this? I wonder what triggered that depression. Every now and
Mhm.
then it just comes to me because I do believe it's a gift. Like sometimes it just emerges and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna slip that in the back of my mind. But a lot of times I'm not even going there, honestly.
That's good. I didn't know. Okay. I didn't think that what I hear you say is that like there is Noel the therapist, and then there's Noel in your everyday life. And I
Mhm.
guess I assume because I feel like I'm the uneducated therapist that I am. So almost every conversation that I have, I'm like, I struggle with when somebody tells me something and I'll be like, that don't make sense. I don't understand that. So what you said, what like I immediately go into it. I know this not to be like correcting people, but I really just don't understand. I be like, I don't understand. So why did you do that again? They be like, well, because when I was doing this, and then you said what after? Like I immediately go into stuff like that. But you're able to go, I'm done.
Yeah,
That is awesome.
like
Help me.
me. Me, who's just me, I can hear you and I'd be like, okay, well, you made your choice and I respect it and I just move on from it. I mean, at the end of the day, people have free will and I'm not, you know, I want to be your friend, not your therapist. I don't want you to come to me and feel like every conversation is this deep conversation and it's so this and it's so that. Or some people feel like I don't want to talk to her, she analyzing me. 9 times out of 10, I'm not. 9 times out of 10, I just want to talk to you about, did you see such and such on TV or, what type of movie, just so I'm usually not even in that mindset, but I can be, especially I think the way it comes out the most is if somebody has irritated me and I'm like, why would they do that? What is behind that? But outside of that, I'm not even thinking about it.
Okay, y'all heard it first. Y'all heard it. The therapist is not analyzing you every time you talk.
Mm-mm.
It's the fear of being found out.
I never thought about that.
Because it's like the idea is that you have this ability to see something that it's almost being prophetic as well. Like there's some people
Mhm.
who won't go to a certain church because they be like, nah, man, that prophet, I'm
Yeah,
all the way in the back now. Call me to the front. You like just not wanting to be found out or seen or exposed.
good.
Yeah, that's.
Mm,
I mean, I don't know. I am not the all knowledge when it comes to prophetic gifts, but I feel like even therapy is that as well because you guys help us really to see in the moment and even in the past like some things that are without you saying this that this is what happened to you. It's more like
right.
when you are getting the information, you're able to see through it in a different way. And then you're able to reveal it to us in the way that you see it and word it. Because it's just like when you may have a family member or a friend and they're like, you should leave that man. You should leave that man. He ain't no good. You should leave that man. But when
Mhm.
we get with you guys, y'all see it from a different perspective. It feels like, so is the reason why you're still with him is because you're codependent. Because that puts a
Mm,
different language on it. And
hmm.
it's like, am I codependent? Like, then it makes, it makes
Yep.
sense. And it's like, oh man, he's like, okay, so this is what I want you to do because y'all always give us homework. You be like, I want you to
Oh
write.
yeah. Gotta have it homework.
Yes. I want you to write in your journal. Um, five it's like write in your journal 5 ways that you feel codependent. Just five. If you have more, write them more. And then go through them and then circle the ones that are the worst ones. Like you're like, man, I'm really codependent with this person and this person.
Mm,
And like be like, okay. And then write why. It's like, okay. Then you come back next session, you're crying because you're like, this person is terrible to me. I didn't know if I
yeah.
was my anchor like that. It's like, yeah, yeah. And I mean, you didn't say you should leave that man. Not one.
Mm-mm. See, that's why it's important for us not to tell you what to do because you got there on your own. You did your homework and you determined it all on your own.
I did the work.
You did the work. Now, do you do your therapy homework? Because I'm gonna be honest, I don't be doing mine. My therapist, she be like, "Do you remember what I assigned you?" And I'd be like, "Mm-mm. What did you?"
So, real talk. When I first got started, absolutely not, because it was
Ah,
at first, because it was like I was brand new mom. I didn't have time for myself at the time. So
yeah.
absolutely not. Now the kids are kind of self-sufficient a little bit. Like they'll go sit and play by themselves. And then my husband's more active with giving me the space to do stuff like this now. So it's like, okay, cool. So now I do. When I tell
Good.
you my journal, I bought like a stack of composition notebooks because I can go through a page and a half
Hmm.
after, like, I write it down, but I'll go through a page and a half almost. I was doing it almost every other day, but now I think the routine that I have for myself, I just take 30 minutes to just write down my day, which has been helping me to see where I'm at. Because my main issue was not making time for myself. So this
Mm.
that because I was feeling like I was drawn in so many different. Y'all getting the insights in my therapy. Um, I was being pulled in so many different directions, trying to be wear the hats that came with being a wife, a mom, a staff member at a church, running a ministry, all these different things. And it's like I was like, there's no time for myself. So now that I have the support for it, and now that I'm doing the things that I need to do, oh yeah, the homework is a part of my routine now. And the benefit of it was I instead of doing it at night when I'm exhausted, I do it in the morning
Oh,
before.
that's good.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you just have to create the space. Really, just have to create the space for you to do therapy the way that you need to do it for yourself.
Hmm.
And for her, um, accountability wise, oh, she was big on that. Like I didn't. I think because she was so accountable to me, I wanted to be accountable to her. Like I
Mm.
wanted her to know that I appreciated her sharing her knowledge with me. I appreciated her challenging me to put myself first. Like she's not even asking me to put her first. She was like, "Wait a minute. So you spent all week and you do nothing for yourself?" And I was like,
Mm.
and just that simple. And I was like, she was like, "So how am I supposed to know you got proof? Because this is proof that you took some time for yourself. Because you can't
Right.
cook when everybody's asking you to cook, clean, laundry, all the school, back activities, then back to church. Like this lets me know that you took time for yourself." And I was like,
I like that.
just that simple.
Yeah.
This is proof. Did you write in your
Really.
journal? No. Okay, so you didn't have no time for yourself this week.
Mm.
Hit me in the chest. I was like, oh.
Really did.
Look, did you
And
feel?
I caught it too. Yeah. Now I'm over here. I got to do my homework before I go to therapy because
I
I.
love her. Like, I so love her. She was like, I'm not trying to make you feel guilty. I just want you to be aware. Your journey is to find a balance for yourself. Because, like, even like spending time with God became like non existent. Like, if I wasn't at church, I wasn't doing anything.
Wow.
So, a part of my morning routine, I spend 30 minutes with the Lord. I spend 30 minutes in my journal, and then I'll spend another 30 minutes doing absolutely nothing.
Mm.
And it's just because with me having ADHD, I immediately went to my tasks.
Yes.
And I gotta do this and I gotta do that. And I'm like, oh man, I forgot to do this. And no, I'll lay in my bed. Phone is not in the room because that'll distract me. TikTok will distract me. And I just lay there and I breathe. It feels so weird. It felt weird in the beginning because I was like, this feels dumb. I could be doing something in this 30 minutes. And it's like, in this 30 minutes, I am doing something. And it's just resting for 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I just lay
Mm-hmm.
there. It's dark in my room, a lot of the lights off, and I'm just breathing. And I'm listening to my breath. And I normally put
Love it.
like rain. I love rain sounds. I didn't know I like that type of ambient music, but like just look,
You're getting to know yourself.
look,
Ooh.
I'm
Yeah.
doing better because I think I was so anxious and I was doing a lot and
Hmm.
trying to, I don't know. I think I was trained to be performative. So even in my own personal life, I was doing that. And I didn't
Yeah.
realize it until having kids because I was like, I cannot be everything that they need me to be. So until they get to a certain point, I'll be like, here's a tablet. You get it for this amount of time. I don't care what anybody else says. This is what I need right now. I need you to go and be on this tablet. They got learning games. We're working on speech therapy. We're working on all these different things. I need y'all to do it. So now, okay, now I can breathe. No, they still want stuff from me throughout the day. So I got to do it before they get up, before they jump up. And I was like, okay, now it's so much easier. And I feel like I have a better handle on my emotions. Like normally I was all over the place, all
Mm.
over the place. And then, but still showing up at church, smiling, grinning, but I was angry inside. There's a lot of us out here that are angry. I don't care if
Yeah.
it's church hurt, personal hurt, family hurt, work hurt, just the hurts all around, trauma, all the things. And we're walking around and saying, oh, I'm fine, I'm good. I'm finally at a place where I can go, I'm making it today. I'm working on it.
Hmm.
Like, I'm okay. I was like, it's a little rough day. And they're like, okay, if you need something, let me know. Because that makes connection, allows me to have people a part of my story. So I encourage everybody to do it. And I'm very, very proud of you. I'm going to say this. I'm going to let everybody know this. Y'all, she was scared to do this podcast with me.
Yeah.
Just to be vulnerable. And you have shared some things I've never heard you say. Some things that just came out of your head that you've been thinking to
Hmm.
yourself. And I'm very, very proud of you. This is a beginning to a promise for you in this moment. I feel that for you, sis. He wanted your yes. That's it.
Thank you.
He
I
wanted,
appreciate it. I try because even though I'm a therapist, we're not exempt from having mental health diagnoses, and I know I have bad anxiety. I've been in therapy off and on for years since, well, not for years, for the past 5 years, and a lot of it was anxiety based, and so I had a lot of anxiety coming to do this. When you asked me, I looked down the phone. I said, "Do what?" I was like, "Ain't no way." I was like, not the way my anxiety set up, but I had to make a choice. Anxiety can't win every fight.
that's it.
You know,
Ooh,
it cannot. Anxiety is a feeling, and all anxiety is not bad.
mhm.
Some anxiety just exists. You know, if you are getting on a roller coaster, it's normal to feel anxious. I've never been on a podcast, so the feeling of anxiety related to this is not completely abnormal. I've never been on a podcast. I didn't know what to expect. Sometimes we want anxiety to be so much of a crutch for us. I'm not saying that in a bad way, but we're like, well, I can't do it because I feel anxious. To bring it back, sometimes we just got to feel, why do I feel that way? I felt it because it's something new and I'm unexperienced with
Mm.
this. And I don't want to share my vulnerability, but that doesn't mean that I shouldn't have done it. And so when I sat with it, I was like, hey, let's go for it.
I am so glad that you chose Wild Preacher's Kid to be your first podcast to share on. I don't think this will be the last one that you do. I think somebody's gonna try to steal you. They can have you.
Oh.
But I was the first. I just want everybody to put some respect on my name, okay?
Yes, that's right.
Yes, and I think that with you saying yes, I think that the other things that are your heart's desire, it'll open up the yes to those as well.
Mm,
Because I like when you said anxiety is a good thing. It because it can be sometimes it before singing. I don't care if you've been singing your whole entire life. There's a little bit of anxiousness about like Lord, please be with me. I hope I don't hit no
yeah.
bad notes, and I hope I remember everything, and I hope this is right and this. But when we get out there, y'all be like, man, y'all just sound so good, and y'all have
Mm-hmm.
no idea that I done prayed with 3 people in the parking lot already. Y'all don't even know.
Mm-mm.
I have no idea. I was like, y'all don't know, but it's the same. It's the same thing. And like I like to share on this podcast, I don't give any of my guests any script. I don't give them no questions. I don't give them anything to prepare. And it's only because I want every conversation to be genuine and authentic. And the type of people that I ask would normally say no.
Mm.
Yep, they would normally say no.
Yeah.
I think other than other than two people, and that's just because they're my best friend and that's my baby sister. Anything I do, they're like, I got you. That's just who I roll with. But
Mhm.
everybody who I've done this with, they were like, man, when you asked me, I was about to, cancel on you and da da da. And it ends up being one of the best episodes we've ever had. So I want to say thank you. I appreciate you for your first yes to a bunch of many other yeses where you wouldn't have done this, but this is gonna open doors for you to do some other things. And I'm excited. You don't know this, but I was gonna ask you anyway. Because for all of my viewers, this will be your second time hearing it. But I am doing a women's conference. I'm doing it here in Middle Georgia. At this moment, I haven't found a venue, so hopefully, I find a venue by the time this airs. That's what the goal is. But I'm doing a women's conference, and there is a portion of the conference where I wanted to have some panelists to come and share, but I have asked Noel to be a part of this panelist discussion as well. Um, and you guys, the Lord this morning gave me the title of this panelist discussion, and it's like, Ask a Professional. I am so
Hmm.
excited to do this. Yes, because normally we do like
Okay.
sister talk or something like that, but I'm like, no, let's ask a professional. And it's not you by yourself. I have it's a group of women. Some of them have been on this podcast, some of them I know personally, but it's their field of expertise. And I just feel like sometimes in our community nowadays, we don't get the opportunity to really ask questions of people who understand what we're going through. So
Mm-hmm.
I think, I'm not saying this your second yes, but I expect a yes from this. And she said she was nervous already, but I think you'd be fantastic for it. Um, Not just for myself, but even for your journey of where God's taking you. I think it would be a great opportunity for you too. So you guys, y'all make sure y'all hit up Noel and say,
Well, you already got my yes. I told you that day, I said, if I'm trying my best to give God my yes before I can say no. And I did not come up with it. I've been reading Tasha Cobb's book. I think it's called something yes. I don't want to misquote it, but it's her recent book, and that's what she's been saying. Give God your yes before you can say no. And I've been really trying to do that. So I'm giving you my yes. I already heard the Lord tell me to say yes. So whatever it is.
excited. You guys, this will not be obviously this will not be the last time you see her. And I might make you the unofficial official therapist for Wild Preachers Kids. So then I do plan on doing like a panelist discussion with all of my professionals, like a mini session, and we're all just
Hmm.
talking. Everybody's gonna submit some questions. You guys look out for it. Any questions that you want to ask a professional, we're gonna do a test run with it on the podcast, and we'll air that. The goal is to have this one for June, so I can get everybody on the same page. That's gonna take a little bit more time. So, but Noel, I always give everybody something to give to anybody who was listening. One more, what's a gem or a jewel that you would like to leave? Um, Anybody who's listening, who's either thinking about getting a therapist or is a therapist, and they just need that extra push to make the decision.
Hmm. I would say how we talked earlier about finding the right fit. Oftentimes we go to therapy one time and we just were like, it's just not, I didn't like that therapist, so I'm never going back. It's okay to try several therapists, but it's also okay to go to therapy at different stages in your life. When I think of it that way, I think of therapy being like school. You get your
Hmm.
high school diploma, then you can choose to go to college or not. And then, maybe you decide to go back. You can choose to get a master's degree or not. But what I'm saying is, you can go to school at any stage of your life. It's never too late to go to school, just like it's never too late to go to therapy. And you may have a therapist from ages 20 to 25, and then from 40 to 46, you're like, I need a new therapist, and because there's a new topic that has arisen.
Right.
Take the time to find the therapist that is the best fit for you. Vet that therapist out. Do not just accept whoever is on your EAP or, I'm going to pick this therapist because it's easy for me. Pick the therapist who you have the deepest therapeutic connection with. And know that just because you went when you were 20 doesn't mean you can't go back when you're 40.
Mm. And it is what it is, y'all. She said it. Look, I love it. It's so good. Noelle, one more time, thank you so much. Normally, I come with a last finishing statement. I have none. You've said all the things and you've poured your heart, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you for this moment. Let it seal what God has in store for you. You guys, I can't wait for her testimony of this little baby that we're going to meet, and I cannot wait.
Yeah.
Yep, for all the blessings that come to her and helping people. And of course, she's got homework because in therapy, they give us homework. We got homework for her.
Mhm.
She has to find a way to reach this kind woman that inspired her to do the things that she's doing as well. So I'm grateful, thankful. You guys, as I love to always finish up an episode, keep going, keep digging, and keep being wild for God. We will see you next Monday at 7 p.m. Well, 7 a.m., excuse me. And of course, be on the lookout for Deliver Her Conference. There's more information, and we're doing weekly challenges. And it's just so that I don't want to plan this conference all by myself. So I have picked a phenomenal speakers. I have phenomenal guest artists that have, you guys, I've got received so many yeses so far. I'm so thankful and grateful. So many people who are wanting to team up with me for this conference, and um, there's more details to come. But check us out on our social medias for any information. And of course, if you're interested in being a client with Noelle, her link, I'm gonna drop it at the bottom how you can get in contact with her as well. But we thank you, we love you, and all my lovies. We'll see you next week.